everybody, it is Natalie, and today I'm going to tell you about the worst books that I read in 2019. I'm really nervous. I really hope that we can still be friends after you watch this, so please stay tuned. So let's start with books that were disappointing. Books that I really was so excited about, either because I heard other booktubers talking about it, or I just heard the synopsis and I thought, wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. I have 3 books that really disappointed me, really broke my heart. The first one I'm going to show you, a lot of you probably remember. This is a book I wanted so bad that I did an anticipated releases video that this book was in. I actually picked this up in the grocery store and rode it around with it, and then ended up putting it back because I wanted to save money, and then it became one of Reese's book club of the month books, so I was able to get it. So psyched, so over the moon excited, and then it was meh. And that would be The Last House Guest by Megan Miranda. Megan Miranda is definitely one of my favorite authors. She does mystery thrillers, sometimes with a touch of paranormal. She does YA, she does adult. I read both. And this was her big book for this year, and it was not good. It was supposed to be about a set of best friends in this kind of coastal town where one was, more of the rich side that kind of just came as, tourists, and then we had the local girl and their best friends. I thought that was going to be a bigger part of the story. It really wasn't that big of a deal. And the one that's kind of the rich touristy one ends up dead, and she was supposed to figure it out, and it was just boring. And when we finally figured out what happened, it was like, okay. It was just like, it wasn't exciting. There was no twists and turns. It was so predictable. It was so boring. It just dragged. I don't know what was going on. Maybe Megan Miranda was depressed when she wrote this. I don't know, guys. This one was really awful. If you enjoyed it, please let me know, but I was so upset about this book. All right, the next book I also put in one of my anticipated releases. In fact, I think I did 10 mystery thriller releases that are coming soon that I want to read, blah, 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 something like that. And this was also on that list, and I was so excited, and that was Little Darlings. This book is about a woman who gives birth to twins, and in the hospital, some creepy woman, almost like a monstery woman comes to her and is like, let's trade. I've got some monstery twins. Let's trade. And she gets away from her, and nobody believes her and says, oh, you were drugged. You don't know what you were talking about. She even starts to believe that. And then a few months later, the twins go missing for a few hours. And when they get the twins back, even though to everybody else they look normal, the woman just knows that the twins have been switched. And I think I told you when I did one of my wrap-ups, I still don't know what happened in this book. I couldn't tell you if there really was a monstery woman with twins, or if she had psychological problems and imagined this woman. I was so confused. It kept going, twisting. It was too twisty and just confusing, and I just missed it. I missed the great, reveal of what was going on somewhere. So if you've read this and you understood what happened, I would love to know. Please, please tell me. Now, the next one I'm a little nervous to show you because it is so beloved on BookTube. I didn't hate it. I just got bored with it, and that is Strange the Dreamer. And I read, you can see how much I read. This is supposed to be about a guy named Laszlo who's trying to get to some mysterious city. This mysterious city is supposed to be like a lost city. I think they implied that they don't even know if it's real or it's just a legend. It's called the City of Weep. And what I read was okay. I thought the writing was really beautiful, but I was just like, can we get on with it? It was like when you get on a roller coaster sometimes and immediately you start kind of ascending that slow ascent until you finally drop. And it's like, we never got to the drop. And I was just waiting, and I was just like, God, I'm getting bored. Can we get to the city? I want to get to the city. I never got to the city. And I don't know if I should pick this up again, because it might have been my mood at the time. I don't know if maybe I should try this again. Now that I'm looking, I thought I read half of it, but that's not half, because I read right there. That's what I read. So I don't know, maybe I should give this another chance. But now, for the longest time, I didn't tell anybody because I never saw any other booktuber say anything negative about it. But now I've seen a couple people put it on their worst books of 2019. So now I'm going, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't me. Maybe, this book just isn't for everybody. But if you think I should pick it back up, if you think, oh, she's just about to get to the good part, let me know. I might consider picking this up again. Consider it. Talk me into it. All right, real quick before I get to the rest of the books that broke my heart and disappointed me in 2019, I wanted to let you know that Chaptercvii is doing a big, well, not just her and a few other booktubers are doing a big thing for Valentine's in February, several things actually, and I wanted to let you guys know because I think you guys will definitely want to participate in some of these activities. First, she's doing some kind of a readathon bingo, but she hasn't gone into detail about that. What she has gone into detail about is that they're doing a kind of a secret Valentine that's going to be kind of like a secret Santa, where if you sign up, you can have somebody send you a book and you get to send somebody a book. So like I said, y'all all know what Secret Santa is. It's like Secret Valentine, so it's going to be with books. And then she's also doing a kind of roulette, buddy read roulette. That's what it was called. Buddy read roulette, where if you'd like to do a buddy read and you'd like them to maybe match you up with somebody maybe you don't know, maybe you can make a new friend kind of thing. They also are doing that. So I'm going to link all that information for that video. And in that video she has the links where you can sign up for these activities in the description. I already signed up for the buddy roulette thing and I signed up for the secret Valentine thing because that sounded like fun. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, definitely check her video out where she announces it. You should be following Chaptercvii anyway. She is so involved in the actual booktube community. She does readathons. When we did BookCon, she is somebody who rented a room so all the booktubers could get together before the convention. She's just somebody who really is part of the community and is really big on the community. So I suggest that you follow her channel anyway because she's fabulous. But anyway, let's get to the rest of the books. All right, now this next book I'm showing you, I don't feel so bad about because it disappointed a lot of people and it was a bad read for me, and that was The Gilded Wolves. And I almost put this as a disappointment because this is the first book that I got in one of my book box subscriptions. And how much did I read? This was a DNF. You can see how much I read. It's like I didn't want to admit to myself that I didn't like the book. I was like forcing myself to read it, even though I wasn't really sure what was going on. It's set in Paris. It's supposed to be magical, and there's some kind of heist with all these different characters. I was so confused. Didn't know exactly what was going on. I mean, I kind of knew some of what was going on, but I just was so confused. And if you're confused, you're not having fun while you're reading. So I ended up DNFing it. And then after I DNF'd it, then I kept hearing so many other people go, oh yeah, I didn't like that. I heard it's like a bad version of Six of Crows. And I still haven't read Six of Crows. That's something I want to read this year. So I'm hoping because I didn't like this, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to like Six of Crows. I don't know, but let me know. Did you not like this, but you did like Six of Crows? Because that would make me feel so much better. All right, the next book I would like to share with you that was not a good read for me was also a little bit of a letdown because I don't know anybody else who didn't like it, and that is Crown of Feathers. It was another book I got in a book box subscription. So many booktubers loved this book. I've seen this on so many best of 2019 videos. And I've had conversations with many of you online about why didn't you like it? What was wrong? Well, basically this is supposed to be about two sisters who want to be phoenix riders who are now extinct in some way, and they're kind of hiding out, and I think they have a phoenix egg or something. I did not like it because I just was not connecting with the story. I wasn't having fun reading it. I can't explain to you exactly what was wrong. I mean, the characters were okay. The plot seemed good. I just wasn't enjoying it. And I know so many people who love it. So I will say, if you really are into young adult, high fantasy, you might absolutely adore this because I know so many people who do or did. It just wasn't for me. Yet another book box book that just wasn't for me. But yeah, I couldn't connect to the material at all. All right, the next book that I did not like was Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. This is another book that I will say you might like. This is a story about two sisters that were estranged. They had another sister that many years ago was, I think, kidnapped or murdered or something, and I guess that kind of tore the family apart. There was other things going on. The reason I didn't finish this one either, the story was very well written. The characters were well written. What I didn't like is it had a lot of scenes with people being tortured, and it was like, I don't like people being tortured. Not like the way these people are being tortured. I mean, it was just like really hard to read. And when you're reading about women being tortured, how can you not think about women in your life that you care about possibly going through that? And it just was making me sick to my stomach. This is another one I've seen on so many people's best of 2019 videos. If that kind of thing doesn't bother you, then I'd say, yeah, this is a pretty good book. But I had to put it down because it was just upsetting me. It really was. All right, the next book that I did not like was The School for Good and Evil. This, I believe, is middle school, I think. And it's supposed to be like in the fairy tale world. If you're supposed to be a princess or whatever, you go to the school of good. And if you're going to be a villain, you go to the school of bad. And these girls are kind of like really close friends in the town that they're from. And when they both get picked from their town to go to this school, somehow the girl that you would think would go to the school of bad goes to the school of good, and vice versa. This book, even though it's not horribly long, I could not get through because it just seemed like the longest book ever. Somebody read the third book in the series. Why anybody would go past the first book in the series, I don't know, but somebody did, and they put the third book of the series on their worst of, and they were like, I just couldn't stand the fact that these girls or the characters would keep messing up and, you know, learning a lesson from it, but then they would make the same mistake over and over, and you would think they learned their lesson, but obviously they didn't because they kept making similar mistakes over and over. And I went, wait a minute. That's what happened in the first book. In fact, you just perfectly explained why I didn't like this. Yes, these characters kept making these same mistakes over and over and over, and then they'd be best friends, and then they hated each other, then they'd be best friends, and they hated each other. It was just like on and on and on and on and on. It was just like, oh my gosh, I'm done. I don't care anymore. So I know a lot of people love this book, but that's why I did not like this book. I just was like, oh my gosh, stop already. Oh, really quick before I get to the next book, I always forget to say this, so I'll say it now. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's down in my description, and I promise to follow you right back. All right, the next book is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I have seen this on other people's worst books of 2019. It was a 3-star read. I mean, it wasn't like horrible. It's about a woman who's in a coma, and she doesn't know how she got there, and she starts being able to hear people around her even though they're not aware that she can hear them. And I know that sounds good, right, huh? No, it was just meh. It was once again one of those, when we got to the big reveal, it was like, really? That's not that interesting. So I did not like this. Now, I said before, whatever wrap-up I put this in, I said this, and I'll say it again. I would read another Alice Feeney book. I thought the writing was really great, and the characters were okay. I just didn't particularly like this story. So I would give her another chance. What I'm about to tell you is going to be so confusing, but the book I'm going to hold up is the first book in a trilogy, and I do plan on reading this entire trilogy. So far, I've only read the first book. The reason I'm going to read the trilogy, well, let me show you the book. It's truly devious. This book really upset me because it's a mystery thriller, and when I got to the end of the book, I literally looked because I thought I had a copy where maybe they cut the last 4 or 5 chapters off. It ended so abruptly that I didn't feel like everything was solved. I understand now that during the trilogy, all the answers will be solved. So the idea is there's an underlying big mystery, I guess, that you have to read all 3 books to get the answer to, but I thought I was going to get the answer to that big mystery in this one, because then a smaller mystery kind of starts in the book, and it was okay, but I was much more interested in the big underlying mystery. It's about a bunch of kids who are talented and they go to a special school, but I guess the founder's wife and child disappeared at some point, and so that was the big mystery we were trying to figure out, and I thought we were going to solve. And then I think one of the students, I mean, it's been so long since I've read this, but I think another one of the students turns up dead or turns up hurt or something, and they end up solving that mystery, but they never get back to the bigger mystery that, you know, was very interesting and grabbed your attention. So I understand now you probably have to read the whole trilogy to get the answers to that mystery. So I do plan on reading the sequel, and I think the third one is out as well. I'm not sure, but I'll check. If the second and the third one are out, then I'll probably be reading them very soon, because I do think that it would be good to read all together, but I would not suggest reading one, waiting a long period, and then reading another one, because it just didn't have enough story. Like, a book should still, even if it's in a trilogy, it should have enough story in it that it can stand alone. And this one I didn't feel like it did. Like, after reading this, like I said, I thought there was something wrong with my book. I'm like, they didn't finish it enough. So I will probably continue on just to find out the answers to my questions, but I definitely recommend reading this as a trilogy. Don't read it one at a time, because I personally was really disappointed the way it was just kind of cut off in the middle of everything. All right, the next book is a book I had in the 20 YA novels I must read, and I started it, and it was Dorothy Must Die, and I ended up DNFing it. I got about got about this far. I know, not very far. I actually was more interested in the story before she got to Oz. Like, I found that more interesting. Once she actually got to Oz, I was just like, I'm not having fun. Like, I really don't care. I really don't. This is not grabbing my interest at all. So I will not be continuing with this. Obviously, I won't be continuing with the rest of the series. It just wasn't for me. If you are a big Wizard of Oz fan, then you might really enjoy this. I think I've just seen too many Wizard of Oz movies and plays, and, you know, I've seen Wicked, and I've seen the sequels, and I've seen the remakes. I don't know. I didn't care. I was back in Oz, and I was like, I don't care. I just don't care. All right, this was one I read recently and told you guys that I was disappointed by. It was I Hope You Get This Message. It's about, I guess you would call it a contemporary, but with a touch of sci-fi. The world finds out that in a week it's probably going to be destroyed by aliens, and it follows 3 characters around as they deal with, you know, the fact they have 1 week and how they come together. One of them is looking for their father they've never met. One of them is trying to seek out a sister that they've had a big fallout with. And the other one is kind of just taking advantage of people during this time because he's trying to make money, because he doesn't think it's really going to happen, this end of the world thing. And I just was so bored in so many sections. There were sections that I was into it, and so many sections I was so bored, and it just was kind of a letdown. I thought this had the potential to really be a great story when I read the synopsis, and it really fell flat with me. Did not like it. All right, and the last book I'm going to show you is a book that not only did not like, it made me so angry. As soon as I finished it, I ran out, I found my husband, and I just exploded with how angry I was at this book. Bring Me Back by B.A. Paris. Oh my gosh, like, I hated this book so much that I didn't even bother to take the sticker off of it. It was so bad. Well, let me back up. It was not so bad until we got to the reveal. In fact, before we got to the reveal, it was excellent. We had the great stories, we had a great mystery, we had a woman that her husband was once engaged, I believe, to her sister, and then her sister just kind of disappeared, and then the sister, all of a sudden, it seems like is like emailing them and sending them weird messages and is messing with them. And I was all in, having a great time. And then when we finally found out what the heck was going on, I was like, that makes no sense whatsoever. None. And the anger, I was so angry. Now, I am glad it was not a super long book, so I didn't invest like a long amount of time reading it. But just like, that makes no sense at all. That literally makes no sense. It doesn't. That doesn't work for me. I don't believe it. That just is really, really dumb. And I was just angry for like a couple days about it. It really, oh my gosh, I was so upset. So those, I believe there were 12. Those were the 12 worst books of 2019 for me. I will be also filming the best books of 2019, and I will be doing a book haul. I've not done a book haul in so long, but I got so many books as Christmas presents, so I think I'm going to have a book haul with like almost over 35 books when I'm done, and I think I got some really good ones, and I cannot wait to share that with you. So the next video I'm going to film will be my best of video, and then I'm going to do my book haul. So that's what I have coming up soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.